right. Looking slightly not homeless today. Houseless. Houseless, that's the correct term. My microwave is currently broken, so this coffee right here is just slightest bit lukewarm, I guess. Okay, hold it right there. Editor Gabe here, and you are not going crazy. That is a very annoying high-pitched beeping noise. Listen, I don't know what happened. I think something's up with my XLR cord, but it's not happening right now as I record this, so what the fuck? But not to fret. It goes away in about 15 seconds, so just hang in there. You got this. All right, listen up, you fucks. You know, I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. It's like, if you weren't gonna commit to changing something on a random day, then what's another random day that happens to be the first day of the first month of the first year of a calendar that was created by a dude named Gregory thousands of years ago? If you actually wanna change something in your life, then don't wait until an arbitrary day that in reality is just like any other day. Not to mention, you'll probably have a raging hangover. That being said, if I were to have any resolutions this year for my channel, they'd probably be, number 1, stop having chapped ass lips on camera. I mean, goodness gracious, this has been haunting me since my Snapchat Magicians video. Where is my chapstick? I literally lost it. Help. Please. Oh, number 2, find someone that can actually cut my hair. Nope, you do not want to see that. Like, I don't know why it's been so difficult to find one barber, just one singular one, that can give me a baby mullet. Okay? Without it costing like $70, not including tip, or just doing a really bad job. No offense to Claire, or whatever your name was. Like, is there no middle ground here? Does my city just not have any good barbers? I'm lost. And number 3, stop posting videos that are months or years late. And with that being said, here's a video about movie sequels in 2024. Ah, shucks, I broke the resolution already. Well, it's always next year, right? Listen, there were just a few sequels to come out this year. Some were good, some were less good. Well, at least the ones I saw in theaters, so let's talk about them. Starting with the sequel that no one asked for or really understands, unless you're like a huge Fury Road fan, which I don't know anyone like that personally, but I bet one of you out there is, so drop a comment if you're actually real. I'm not convinced.
Do the body knocker!
Well, actually, it's more of a prequel. Shut the fuck up. Well, actually, I don't know if you could consider it a sequel because it's really a
Shut the fuck up, okay?
Well, actually, I'm not sure if you could call it a sequel because it's really in essence, a prequel.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, now guys, I gotta admit it, okay? I did it again. I watched the sequel without watching the first one first. Sue me. Don't, please. Do not do that. I know I keep saying that. Please don't. I know, charge it to my content-pilled brain, not my heart. But what I noticed right away about Furiosa was this very specific style of cinematography that I at least know mirrors the first one. This creative use of miniatures, the really nice practical effects, even some stop motion sprinkled here and there. And there's something about these visuals, and the amazing sound design, of course, lest we forget, that really drags you into this story and really doesn't let you lose focus, despite it being a 2.5-hour burn. Also, side note, can we talk about why movies are all of a sudden just all long now? Like, what happened to the classic 90-minute, like, one and done, you walk into the theater and you get an experience for 90 minutes of your time? Like, it almost feels like movies are trying to waste your time these days. I'm pretty sure Moana 2 was almost 2 hours long. Moana 2 did not have to be almost 2 hours long, okay? Jeez. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Now, what's the plot anything to write home about? Nah, but I mean, female protagonist, revenge story, badass woman that is somehow only minimally sexualized? Shocker. Also being played by the wide-set-eyed love of my life, Anya Taylor-Joy. Please, for the love of God, just marry me already. And even though she said maybe 2 things throughout the entire runtime, leaving all the male characters to drive said mediocre plot, I gotta say, I had a good time watching this. And I also think there's something to be said about this long ending scene, where Furiosa is standing over the subject of her revenge, Dr. Dementis, great name by the way, and can't seem to find the willpower to end him once and for all, despite his incessant and unrelenting mouth. Hey, Editor Gabe here, I'm back, unfortunately. So I think I momentarily forgot how this movie ends, where Dr. Dementis becomes a literal tree, and the whole point of this ending scene is that Furiosa is just deliberating on the most painful and slow way to kill him. So yeah, still very badass, not like she was feeling any, sympathy or remorse or whatever. And I think I kind of missed that when I first recorded this, but yeah, that's that. Back to the video. In this age of shortened attention spans, as we all know, it's hard to find new movies with scenes like this. And credit where it's due, Chris Hemsworth was great in this scene. And in the whole movie. Like, isn't it so refreshing when you take an actor out of a Marvel movie only to realize, oh yeah, they actually can act. It's one of my favorite things, but I'm getting distracted here. Yeah, I mean, this one was great. If you're a fan of just over-the-top, ridiculous violence paired with a sound design and soundtrack that absolutely killed the cat, I don't know what that means. This one is for you. And speaking of sound design that killed the cat, holy shit, I gotta come up with better descriptions for movies. Here it comes. Talk about immersion. Like, when I first saw this scene in the theater, my jaw literally dropped. And then the way the music swells back in right as he regains control. I mean, they knew what the fuck they were doing, all right? And let me tell you, there was a lot about Dune Part 2 that I liked way more than the first. I mean, let's cut to the chase. There was just more action, more stakes, more villains other than just grunts or tiny assassin robots. Nothing wrong with tiny assassin robots, okay? It was a cool scene. But with this sequel, we're finally introduced to the larger picture of this ever-expansive Dune universe. Duneverse, if you will. You won't, but I will. In a way that was cohesive to the story and didn't really feel like almost 3 hours. Again, long-ass movie, but this one kind of deserved it. I mean, casting, immaculate, as always. Timothée just continues to impress. We got Elvis as the bald, pale, white guy. Bald, pale, white guy? Why does that sound so weird? We got Thanos as a warrior. We got Christopher Walken as the Emperor. I mean, I will never see Rebecca Ferguson the same after her role as Lady Jessica, no matter how many episodes of Silo I've watched. Sorry, Juliet. And then the coloring, I mean, oh my God! The way we're introduced to Harkonnen culture by this washed-out gray coliseum that's soundless besides the barbaric chants of this truly evil population. Like, I was actually beginning to think that this scene was just black and white for gore's sake or something, like they didn't kill Bill. Until blood was actually shed and it saturated the screen with red. So good, so good! Hey, Editor Gabe here, I'm back again. Wow, I am chatty today, and oh my God, that is a terrible place to pause the video. Once again, this is a little inaccurate. This scene, for the most part, is just black and white. But I think the point I was trying to make is that there's some crazy color science going on. Like, it isn't pure black and white. There's like little hints of other colors here and there to emphasize to the viewer that the Harkonnens are just so dull, gloomy, dark. And yes, I'm chatty today, but really what I'm trying to do is just stretch the video to 10 minutes. So one day I'll have mid-rolls. One day. All right, I'm gonna shut up now. Back to the video. I'm tempted to say this was an even better Coliseum scene than the movie that was dedicated to Coliseums. But we'll get to that in a second. There's really only one part of this movie that makes it any less than incredible. And it's this guy. Listen, I understand the concept of comedic relief, okay? I get it. But did this movie even need any comic relief? Like, what does that even add? It was just an element that already got kind of old in the first one, and then the filmmakers just decided to double, quadruple, quintuple down on it for some reason. Like, what's up with that? It took me out of the story for one, but it also made every bit of character development for Stolgar in the first movie just kind of go to waste. Like, his entire purpose in part 2 was just to shout the same phrase over and over again with varying levels of intensity. I mean, hell, my boy Hobby did it pretty well, I guess. Get your bag or whatever. But luckily, these moments weren't enough to spoil the entire movie for me. Definitely an amazing sequel, definitely better than the first, and I stand by that. I can't wait for part 3 in fucking 2035. It's gonna be amazing. Alright, you knew it was coming. And yeah, to say that another movie about giant sandworms one-upped you in a 10-minute Coliseum sequence when your entire movie took place in a Coliseum is pretty brutal. But unfortunately, I think it's true for this one. Would you believe me if I told you I fell asleep 20 minutes into this movie? Look, I was already tired, okay, it was a long day, and it didn't last long. I woke up to Lucius killing his first challenger, and from there I was pretty entertained for the rest of it. But that was pretty much it. Just entertainment. What could have been a real expansion on the legendary story of the first Gladiator 24 years ago ended up being another carbon copy, money-milking sequel that was completely devoid of all substance. Gotta say, I shouldn't be surprised at these anymore, but here I am. And like I just said, there were elements of this that could have been played on in a creative way, like the twin emperors who apparently were real and historically accurate, which I guess I'm not a real boy for not knowing that about the Roman Empire, had a really interesting dynamic that the movie spent about 30 minutes developing before saying, fuck it, we got lazy. And perhaps the saving grace of this movie, Denzel Washington, my king, playing, what is it? Macaroni? Just brilliant, as he always is. But they didn't take enough time developing him either. I must have power! Let's face it, that wasn't the point of the movie. The point of the movie was the action that was happening inside the dome. I get it. And there were some cool moments here. The ravenous baboons, the starving sharks, the fucking rhino. But the filmmakers clearly spent way too much runtime in these action sequences and left every single one of the characters out to dry. And don't even get me started on Lucius. Like, wow, your wife died to the hands of a Roman general, making you seek revenge and then discover you're an immortal warrior. Haven't heard that one before.
I am not entertained.
Like, why not just be a single ounce more creative with the development of the main character? I don't get it. Except I do. The movie made $400 million in the box office. Veni Vidi Vici or whatever.
Give me your, 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 give me your.
So kids, what did we learn? Actually, I hope you're not kids because my content is definitely not age appropriate. I mean, all things considered, 2 for 3 is not bad. It's not bad. And yeah, I know that I'm probably missing some sequels that came out this year, like, let's see here. Inside Out 2, Beetlejuice, Kung Fu Panda 4, Deadpool and Wolverine, Joker 2, A Quiet Place Day 1, Despicable Me 4. They made another one? Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? Okay, like, come on, bro. But maybe I'll get to watching those someday. I won't. All right, well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed my quick analyses of these 3 movies, one of which I literally fell asleep in the theater for, fell asleep in the whatever. You get the point. And what did you think about these movies? Did you like Dune Part 1 more than Dune Part 2? Well, you're wrong, but let me know in the comments. And with that, I will take my lukewarm, actually now cold, coffee, and I'll be out of here. I'll see you later. Be safe out there. Kiddos, please don't be kids. I don't like kids. Love you. Miss ya. Miss you already. Okay, bye.